NTV, turning on your world.
Good morning, welcome to NTV Tizi Nyumbani. My name is Peter. I'm accompanied by Nelly today. Leo tunafanya abs and the obliques, okay? For warm up, we're starting it very easy. We're only doing 100 jumping jacks. We start it off, okay? Nelly, you ready? Twende kazi. Let's go. 1, 2. Give me some speed. Now remember, if you have knee issues or back issues and you can't be able to jump as Nelly is jumping up, just step on the side, up or 2 on the side, okay? Perfect. Nelly, twende kazi. How many are those?
8, 9, 20.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 30. Push it, guys. You're doing well. You're doing fine. Push it. Push it. Push it. Tuna warm.
40.
Tunatengeneza tumbo leo hapa na hapa master. Hizi mataya, this everybody always complaining about taya zina hang leo tunazi attack. All right? So stay tuned. Endele Nelly. How many?
Going to 60.
Perfect. Push it. 40 more to go, guys. 40 to go. Push it, push it, push it. You're doing fine. You're doing all right. Good job, good job.
More.
3, 4, 5, 6. Push it. 7, 8, 9. Those are 90. 10 to go. Tena kazi. Skuma. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job, Nelly. The first workout tunafanya in the gym, we usually call it the cable crush, the cable crunches. Now, today, because we're using the towel, so if you have a towel next to you, this size iko sawa. Kama hauna, please, I'll give you 30 seconds. Kimbilia ka towel, ama tuma your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your partner to grab your towel. Fold the towel, okay? And all through the workout, ensure that there's nothing. Hii towel ainingini katikati, it's tight. Hold it firmly, okay? End to end. So the first workout we're doing, you place the towel here, behind your back, hapo. Then make sure that your knees are easy knees, okay? Then you're able to hold it tightly, then tuna crunch chini, then come back up. Okay? Tuendele Nelly. 20 counts. 1, 2. Engage the core. 3. Push it. Those are 4, 5, 6. Push it. Push it. 7. This one you can be able to do it. If you have a back problem, enda pole pole, okay? Ukisikia uchungu, always, anytime you feel pain, any discomfort, stop the workout. Take a minute, take a breather, relax. If you have to stop completely, stop. We don't want injuries, all right? Good job, Nelly. How far?
5.
20. 4 to go. 3 to go. And last one. Good stuff. From there, tunaingia elbow to knee. Now, like I said, ensure that the towel is tightly held from end to end. So I want you to lean forward. You remember how we do our knee ins? Perfect. So hold the towel in, bring it in, hapo. 1, okay? 2, 3. All right. Firmly hold the towel. Nelly, we ready? 20 reps. We're starting with the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Push it. 4. Push it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go easy. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax. Perfect. How are you feeling, Nelly? You starting to feel it?
Yeah.
We balance the other leg. Same. Hold the towel tightly. Tightly. Perfect. We ready? Let's go. 1. Good job. 2, 3, 4. Good. 5. Push it. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. 10 to go. 1. Push it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Push it. 6, 7. Good job. 8, 9, and 10. Good job. Toka hapo tunaingia the oblique on the side. So the first workout we're doing, we're holding the towel tightly. Remember, tightly. Then on the side. Okay, tightly hapo, then whoop on the side. Hapo. Tuna attack hapa, obliques. We ready? Nelly, you ready? I want you to stand on the side. Hapo, hapo, hapo. Are we good?
Yeah.
Let's go, Nelly. Let's start. 1, 2, engage it. 3, upper. 4, easy mataya. 5, that's what we're kicking out today, guys. 6, 7, push it. 8, 9, those are 10. 10 to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're almost there. 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Good job, Nelly. How you feeling? We do. Standing the same way, upper, same position. We go on the other side. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We start. Let's go. 1, 1. Good. 2, 3, 4. Push it. 5, 6. Easy, Taya. Easy. 8, 9, 10. 1. Push it. 2, 3, 4. Hey, I'm here. 5. Twende kazi. 6. Push it. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Catch your breath for a few seconds. From there, tunaingia front kick with the towel. So hold the towel tightly. Now what I want you to do with the towel is, as you kick forward, you bring down the towel. Okay? So there. Down. Remember, ni kama unataka kukimbia. So your back leg is the one that is doing the kick. The back leg, all right? So hold the towel tightly, then tuna crunch your tumbo vizuri. Nelly, we ready?
Yes.
20 reps, guys. 20, only 20 reps. We start with the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. You can do it. 4, 5, 20, 6, 7. Those are 8. Good job. 9. Those are 10. 10 to go. 20 kazi. 1. Hey, I can see you. 2, 3. Don't cheat. 4, 5. Good job. 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 10. Good job. Perfecto. Relax. How you feeling?
Feeling.
So far so good?
Yeah.
We're balancing the other leg. Same. The back leg is the one that is doing the kick. The towel, hold it tightly, bring it down. All right? We ready? Let's go. 1. That's the knee. 2. That's 1. 1. Good job. 2. Twende kazi. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 10. Perfect. Relax. Breathe. Catch your breath. From there tunaingia bado obliques. I want us to do an oblique twist, okay? So we here tightly. Yes. Good. 6. Good job. 7. 8. Good job, Nelly. 9. Those are 10. We are halfway. Don't quit. Twende kazi, skuma. Good job. 9 to go. 8 to go. 7 to go. 6 to go. Twist it. 4 to go. Last 3. 2 to go. You're doing fine. Then last one. Good job. Relax. Kutoka hapo, ekelea towel kwa shoulders. We're there. You know vile tunaingia kwa gym, eh? Just hold it there, place it on your shoulder. Now, we're doing the standing crunches. Hapo. Okay. Look at my back leg. On toes. Hapo. Okay? Then center. 1, 2. Twist that body sideways, then back to the center. Hapo. I want that rotation. We good? Nelly, are we ready?
Yes.
We kickstart our workout. Let's go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Perfect. Let's go. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good job. 7, 8. Peleka elbow chini kabisa. 9. Hapo. 10. 10 to go. 1, 2, 3. Push it. 4. Guzana elbow. 5. Good job. 6. Push it. 7. Elbow iguzane hapo. 9. Relax. Breathe. So we're balancing the other side. Same. Look at my back leg. Hapo. My towel is here. Then I want that twist, okay? Elbow and knees in a guzana. Up at the center, then you turn. Okay? Nelly, we ready? 10 counts. 20 reps. Are we good? We are ready for you. You're ready? Perfect. Let's start. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. It's okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. Count for me, Nelly. Relax. Push it. Evo. Okay, don't overthink the workout. It's easy. It's just your elbow going all the way to your knee. And you're just placing your hands on the towel hapo kama relax. Sawa? Yes, rahisi hivyo. You got it right.
3,
2, and 1. And relax. To finish off our first set, we're doing a walk-in and a shoulder tap. Now, let me demonstrate first. Let me wipe also my sweat out. So, I'm going to do a walk-in to a plank position. When I'm at a plank position, I shoulder tap, then I walk up. Then that's 1. I repeat, walk in from that position, I shoulder tap, then I walk back up. And that's 2. We ready? We're only doing 20 peke yake. Sitaki kunyanyasa. Yes. Good job. Nelly, you ready? Let's go. Come back up. Good job. That's 1. 20. Shoulder tap. Good job. Come up. These are 2. Good. 3. Come up. 4. If you can't go all the way, Nelly, count. If you can't go all the way, ni sawa. Unaweza chini the farthest you can. If not, place your knees down. Then walk forward with your arms. Then you shoulder tap. Then you walk back up with your knees down on the mat. Sawa sawa. So do what you can. Improvise, guys. Perfect. On the left. Those are 8. 12 to go. 9. We're almost halfway. We are almost halfway. Those are 10. 10 to go. Just 10 more reps. Good job, Nelly. Push it up. 9 more counts. Breathe. As you go down, breathe. Breathe. Control your breathing. Good job, Nelly. Come up. Perfect. 8. Tuendelee.
7.
Tuendelee. 7 to go. 6 to go. Tuendelee. Everybody understands the importance of a strong core. All of us. Ask an athlete. They will tell you. Ask a basketballer. Ask a runner. Ask whoever, a boxer, anyone. If you just want to be physically fit, your core is, and it's a must. Lazima uipatie kazi. That's what we're doing. Pole pole. Alright. So if you're there at home, core yako ni mbaya, inakuleteaga shida, you can't even hold a plank for 10 seconds. Join us. Every day, Monday to Friday, we're doing workouts. Me and Eve. Join us every day. Okay, these workouts are going to help you strengthen your body. That's the point. NTV tizi nyumbani. We're taking care of you guys at home. All right? We good?
Yes.
We done? Perfect. Now, breathe for at least 30 seconds. Then we start our second set. How are you feeling? Give us your feedback. We are eager to hear from you. And we hope you're really enjoying the workout and you're able to follow us. Remember, at the end of this workout here, Tumbo, our 30-second push-up challenge still goes on. How many push-ups can you do in 30 seconds? Nelly, we good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do we start with the second set?
Yes, please.
Amesema tuendelee. What do you think? Tuendelee? Perfect. Tuanze tena. So tunaanza na cable crunch where we started. Okay? Just take in your head. See if unataka kuguza huko kwa magoti, then come back up. Okay? Yeah. Nelly, we ready? Ease up the knees. Then we start. 20 reps only. Kusende kazi. 1. Good job. 2. 3. Good stuff. Tuendelee. 4. Those are 5. You can do it. All workouts. Hakuna ati workout that is specifically made for X and for Y. It's all for us. Start gradually, build it up, be consistent, be determined, guys. You can hack it. Twende kazi, Nelly. How many are we?
8 more.
8 to go. Tuendelee. 6 more reps. 5 to go. 4 more reps. 3 more reps. Last 2. And 1. Workout number 2, you remember? Elbow to knee here, back leg up. Okay, pause it there. 1, 2, 3. Let's strengthen that core. Nelly, you ready? I'm ready when you are. We are ready for you.
Yeah,
Turn, Nelly. 21. 1, 2. Give me slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good stuff. 6. Push it. 7, 8, 9. Keep that towel firmly held. 10. 1, 2. Push it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm sure you're feeling it. I'm sure. Unless unafanya kitu kingine yenye hatufanyi sisi. You ready? Take the other leg backwards. Hold the towel tightly. Yes, firmly. Firm. I want you to be very firm. I don't want any slack in between. Firm. Okay? You ready, Nelly?
Yes.
Let's go. 1, 2. Slow. 3, 4. Slow. 5. Slow. 6. Good. Up. 7. Hold. 8. Hold. 9. Hold. 10. 1, 2, 3. Good stuff. 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. Good job. Relax. Kutoka hapo tunaingia the obliques on the side. Okay? Hapo. Hapa. Mataya manenos. We are ready for you. Are you ready? We are ready. Nelly, we are good? We start with the right. We good? Are we ready? We start. Perfect. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nelly count. Kama ya mguu inuka juu kabisa kama ya Nelly ni sawa. And at the farthest you can, okay? The most important part is you are able to engage here. This is what we're looking at, guys. Hapa. Good job. Tuendelee. Yes. 4, 3, 2. Tuende Nelly. Last one. And 1. Good job. Relax. How you feeling, guys? Turn up, Nelly. Just punch down. Up. Kidogo to just ease up. We're fixing the other leg. 20 reps. Are you ready? Can we start? Turn the job. Let's go. 1, 2. Bring the elbow. I want you to elbow at least half on the thigh. Yes, perfect. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go, guys. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Tuendelee. This is yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good job, Nelly. 8, 9, and 10. Feel it. How you feeling? Kutoka hapo tunaingia the kick. You remember the kick? So we're doing the front kick with the towel. Bring down the towel. Hapo. Okay. So raise it up, then bring it down. All right. So back leg is the one that is doing the kick. See yenye iko mbele. Don't confuse it. The front, the back leg. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Nelly, I want you to give me a pause every second. 1, pause. 2, pause. Are we ready? I also want you to do the same pose. Hold it kidogo. Go up, then pause. 1, pause. Good job. You ready? 1, pause. 2, good. 3, perfect. 4, 20. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Push it. Those are 10 to go. 1, 2, push it. 3, good job. 4, 5, 8. So those are 8, 20, 9, and 10. Relax. How are you feeling, Nelly?
Tired.
I hope you are not working the upper back. We are doing the core.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good job. I hope you're feeling the same. Okay. Hatusumbui miguu sana, hatusumbui mgongo, hatuko shoulders, tuko tumbo. Good job. Tuendelee the other leg. You ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hold. You've hold. 4, 5. Give me some power. 6. Good job. 7, 8, 20, 9. Those are 10 to go. You can do it. You can do it. Hakuna venye unaweza amuka hivi alafu ushindwe kufanya hii maneno. Hapana, it's for you. You can do it. You can hack it. Twende kazi. 4 to go. 3 more. 2 to go. The last one. Relax. 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 Oblique twist. We ready? 20 reps. I know, I can see. Unajimwagilia maji. Anajimwagilia maji. Are we ready? Twende kazi. 1. Pause. Twist. Good job. Easy. Feel the workout. Listen to your body. If you feel umechoka sana, if you feel you want to catch a breath, no problem. Catch a breath. Take 10 seconds, catch a breath. You want to at least gargle some water in your mouth, no problem. Take that 2, 3, 5 seconds, gargle the water, tema chini ama hata umeze, hakuna shida. Then tuendelee na workout, okay? Good job Nelly, tuendelee. Twist mwili vizuri, hivyo. How many are we? 8. Twende kazi. Those are 9. We are halfway. Those are 10. 10 to go. Wala tuna complainingi mataya. Tumbo, siwezi plank for 10 seconds. Siwezi fanya nini. Hapana. You can now. Okay. We're just doing it pole, gradual workout, easy. Be consistent. We're on your screen Monday to Friday. Be consistent. That's it. Wake up early in the morning, try this workout. Good job, Nelly. Tuendele. 4 to go, 3 to go. Last rep. Woo! How are you feeling, Nelly?
I'm fine.
Yeah? Tutengeneze. When you unasemanga six pack inakuwa kazi rahisi, my friend, it's not easy. It's not easy. Even those ladies with a flat tummy or those men with a flat tummy, my friend, if you see one, congratulate them. It's not easy. All right. So we want you to be part of that crew. We know it's not easy, but we believe you can do it. All right? Perfect. From there, tunafanya standing crunches. Remember, ekelea towel hapo kwa mabega, just behind your neck, and remember that twist. Remember the twist there and back. There. Sawa. We're ready for you. Nelly, are you ready?
Yes.
Good. We start. 1, 2. Good job. Hold it. 2, 3. Good. 4. Make sure your elbow and your knees naguzana. 5, 6, 7. Good. Push it. 8, 9. Those are 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Good job, Nelly. We fixed the other side. Let's go. The other side. The other side. We want 4 sets from you. From you. It's yours. 4 sets. You can do it. I kid you not. 4 sets. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push it. 7, 8. Those are 9. And 10. 10 to go. Those are 10. Those are 9. Push it. 8, 7, 20, 6, 20, 5, 20, 4, 3, 2. Good job, Nelly. How are you feeling? Your tumbo ina engage, eh?
Yes.
You can access these workouts. Kama umetujoin sahi, welcome on board. Go to Facebook, NTV page. Get these workouts. Monday to Friday, we have a lot of goodies for you. Practice them at home. Record them. Record yourself. Post it on NTV. We want to see what's your progress. We started this a month ago. Give us your feedback. Tuambie, how are you feeling? Okay. Is there something you want us to work on? Is there something we need to bring more? How are you feeling ever since you started the workout? Are they helping you at home? Give us your feedback, guys. All right? Engage us. Now, last workout. We're doing the walk-in and a shoulder tap. Nearly 20 reps. We stretch. We call it a day. But before we do that, tunaenda ile 30-second challenge here. Do you remember? 30-second push-up challenge. You good? Let's go. Start. Then shoulder tap. Then come back up. Now that's 1. Okay? 20. 2. Remember, if you can't go down on that plank position, maybe because of an injury. It could be a knee injury, a back injury, maybe a shoulder injury. You can place your knees down on the mat, then just walk forward, then tap, then come back up. All right. If not, try do a plank. Just hold on a plank. Pole pole. It's gradual. Pole pole. We're building you. Pole pole. Pole pole. That's why we're not coming once a week. We're coming 5 days in a week. 5 days a row. Okay. So that we are able to take you pole 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 and we build it up. Good job, Nelly. So tell us, give us your feedback, engage us, record yourself doing these workouts with us, okay? In the morning, just record yourself, post it on NTV page. Tuambie, ever since you started this a month, how are you feeling? Okay? Challenge us. You want us to do this more, you want us to bring these, you want us to introduce this, we will bring it up for you. We will do it for you at home, okay? Let's stay at home. Let's tumalize historia ya corona ishe. We all go back to our normal duties the way we are used to. But still then, this is the new normal. Let's get used to it, guys, and let's make the best out of it. Stay at home, stay safe. We are here to make you guys work out, and I hope you're enjoying the workout every single day, all right? Good job, Nelly. Perfect.
4 more.
4 to go. You're almost there. It's very easy. It's easy, you're doing it. I'm not saying it's easy because I'm doing it. I'm saying it's easy because you're doing it. You're hacking it. Good job.
2 more.
2 to go. 2 to go. Just 2 more. 2 more. Good job. Come up. Now the last one. We wrap it. Last one. Twende kazi. Perfect. And up. Done. Final. Crawl. Done. Dusted. Yeah? We are done with the obliques and abs today. Done. Before we wrap up, Nelly, I don't know how you're feeling. Can we do a 30-second challenge? Ama mimi nifanye, wewe utafanya baadaye, you post. We want to see you doing the 30-second push-up challenge.
For today.
Record it.
Do it.
Please, Tuma. Okay? Nelly will watch the time for me. 30 seconds. Okay?
How good you are. Let's see. You ready?
30 seconds. I'm ready. Are you ready?
Hey.
Are you ready? We start it off. Get ready. Get ready. 30 seconds. Last time nilifanya 30, but I mean a build up. I'm posting mine. Post yours. Let's see how much you're able to do. How many push-ups are you able to do?
Let's see.
You ready?
Yes, let's start.
We start?
Yeah.
Twende kazi.
Nice one.
3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go on. 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 more. 10. Oh, 32. Nice one.
I've improved, eh? From 30 to 32. How many are you doing? Please post the video on NTV page. Follow us, give us your feedback, engage us. 30-second push-up, guys. Let's make it go wild. All right? Let's stretch, Nelly. We call it a day. Good job. We're here, just stand there. Tuanze hapa. Good, how are you feeling?
Very exhausted.
Awesome. Yeah? Good, the other leg. Upper. Good. Gumbele upper. Woo, and breathe. Just breathe. The other leg. Breathe. Yes. Good stuff. You here? The other side. Shrug your shoulders there. Backwards. Twist the neck round. The other side. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in with the nose. Breathe out with the mouth. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Last one. Breathe in. Out. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying tuned to NTV Tizi Nyumbani. Have a lovely day. God bless.
Credit to you if you stay at home. If you must shop online, use your NCBA credit card. Stay home. Stay safe.
Akili, 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 akili. Let's chase the germs away. Let's chase the germs away by keeping our hands clean. And when you want to sneeze or when you want to cough, do it in your elbow. Let's practice sneezing into your elbow. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Achoo! Again. Achoo! Yay! You did it! Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs are not our friends. Germs, germs, germs. They make us sick. Germs, germs, germs. Germs, germs, germs are not your friends.
With DSTV Now, you open up a world of possibility where your entertainment is ready for you anytime and anywhere. To get connected, ask your parents to go to the App Store, hit download and log in.
Incredible! Incredible!
And while they're there, with DSTV's parental control feature, setting you up for the most fun and safest viewing around is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Amazing entertainment and learning, anywhere with DSTV.
Mama, how can we stop coronavirus?
We can fight its spread by washing hands with soap, like a geisha bar. Stay strong and go so far. Be strong and last long.
Like geisha.
Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observes social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
EBBI, it is nothing else but ethnic balkanization.
Nobody can stop reggae.
I promise you, hiyo reggae itasimama.
Majority has effected changes.
I am just but a son of a squatter, born and brought up in Embobut. I want to say, Mr. President, now therefore deliver for the people of Kenya.
Hata wa murgugumin, hiyo ni kitu kidogo kwako. Lakini kitu kubwa ni hii corona.
Sioni haja ya politics sahi.
We just need to get all friends of William Ruto in government and fire them once and for all.
If you think you will intimidate me with death, if you think you will intimidate me with removing me as a chair of a committee, or even recalling me as a member of parliament to change a stand I believe in, please try another one.
Isn't this an internal party matter?
East Africa is transforming. And so are we. We are now more diverse, more visual, more engaging. Grab a copy of the new East African. To subscribe, email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com or epaper@ke.nationmedia.com.
My name is Michael Olunga. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all my fellow Kenyans peace and safety during these difficult times as we fight the coronavirus pandemic.
please follow the instructions given by our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the Ministry of Health as we fight the coronavirus pandemic. For example, wash your hands thoroughly with running water and soap, or use sanitizers where necessary. 2. Keep your environment clean. 3. Stay at home and avoid unnecessary movements. 4. Take the necessary precautions to keep yourself and your family safe. 5. To my fellow athletes, please train in isolation and take necessary precautions. We shall overcome this pandemic. May God bless you and God bless Kenya.
This is NTV.
Good morning, East Africa. My name is Gladys Gachanja, and today I'm welcoming you from the comfort of my living room. And of course, this is because it has become the new norm for many, which also informs our conversation this morning, which is working from home. Remember, you can actually tell us your experiences in as far as working from home is concerned, and you can also send us those WhatsApp videos to just give us an idea of how it looks like working from home. Remember the hashtag new normal. The WhatsApp number is at the bottom of your screen, and you can even call in and give us your experiences in as far as working from home is concerned. Again, it is your world, and this is what you can expect.
This is the new face of work, the new normal for many Kenyan employees united by technology.
Working from home is a new normal for many Kenyan employees united by technology in communication and delivery. We're talking about Skype, Zoom, WebEx, and Microsoft Teams, you name them. Virtual reality being a new normal to many people, you are assured to have hitches here and there with people adjusting to their new reality of bringing work to a home setup. If COVID-19 has done anything positive, it is milking out people's creative levels, with Leon being one of those people. He has been creating a version of the COVID-19 virus each day out of fruit, vegetables, and household items. With the lockdowns taking a toll on people, creativity has to be applied to survive. This father and daughter dress up as different cartoon characters every day just to take the trash out. So cute. Thank you for joining us again on Your World, and the question of the day to you is, what has been your experience working from home? Share with us the good, the bad, and the outright ugly. So again, the question of the day, what has been your experience working from home? Share with us the good, the bad, and the outright ugly. Remember, the hashtag new normal is how you can send your comments and of course any questions you have even as we go on with this broadcast. And you can also send us your WhatsApp videos to give us an idea of how working at home looks like for you. But for now, let's take a trip around the globe, even as we look at the effects of COVID-19 in as far as the numbers are concerned. And globally, we have 4,894,071 people who have been confirmed to be COVID-19 positive. We have 1,907,000 people, 992 who have been reported to have recovered, and 320,180 unfortunately have succumbed to COVID-19. Now, a look at our local scene, which is Kenya. 44,851 Kenyans so far tested of COVID-19, 912 confirmed to have the virus, 50 have unfortunately succumbed to this condition, and 336 people have recovered from COVID-19. So how does it look like across the globe? Well, Tanzania, those numbers seem to be static. 509 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Tanzania. The deaths still stand at 21. Recovered cases 183. In Ethiopia, the cases are up to 352. 5 people confirmed dead and 116 thankfully have recovered from COVID-19. In Somalia, that number is at 1,421 confirmed cases of COVID-19. 56 people have lost their lives to COVID-19, and those that have recovered stand at 152. In South Sudan, the cases are at 290. Those who have succumbed to this condition are 4, and the recovered cases are at 42. Uganda, the cases there are at 248. Thankfully, no one has succumbed to COVID-19, and the recovered cases are at 63. Rwanda, the confirmed are at 292. The deaths, none, and recovered 197. And in Burundi, the confirmed cases stand at 42. The deaths right now, 1 person has succumbed to COVID-19, and those recovered stand at 20 people. Well, we shall keep you updated on how the effects of COVID-19 are being felt around the world, and most importantly in our country and the continent at large. In light with our conversation of the day, working from home, this is the new face of work, the new normal for many Kenyan employees united by technology in communication and delivery. I'm sure you've talked about Skype, Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, and the list goes on and on. Now, Ephraim Mwiti, who has been taking this short walk to work every day, shares with us his experience.
Ephraim Mwiti has been taking this short walk to work for the last 6 weeks now. Dressed down, the tax expert settles down in his home study to begin his day. The global pandemic has shut the doors of his employer's office.
Working from home has its perks. You don't spend 3 to 4 hours in traffic. You get to exercise, at your own time. Sometimes you get to eat a better meal than you would have to when you're working in the office. So it makes a big difference in the way you're able to deliver and add value.
This is the new face of work, the new normal for many Kenyan employees united by technology in communication and delivery.
The lack of the personal interaction. Sometimes you get to walk over to a colleague's desk and ask a question. We don't have that at the moment because you're mostly doing that via the virtual platforms of, say, Skype or Teams.
But every person is different under supervision from that which they are without it. Now you see him, now you don't. Ephraim admits that he sometimes succumbs to the distractions that come with this paradigm shift. From the irresistible, sometimes longer than appropriate entertainment breaks to the allure of the sweet scent of kitchen spoils.
It comes down to discipline. It's about having a work plan. So when you start off the day, you need to have a routine, and you need to stick to that routine, because at the end of the day, there is work to be done, there are deadlines to be met.
From my current organization, we are very known to doing remote, so for us it's not.
Maureen Njuguna is a director and the human resources lead at Andela, a technology company with staff across Africa working remotely.
Companies have been forced to adjust so quickly in such a short period of time because you still want to continue delivering value and earning revenue. And because of that, they've tried to find whatever means they possibly can to make sure that work is still delivered.
How do you ensure that someone is actually delivering from home as opposed to just spending their time perhaps doing other things?
If you don't have a clear routine where you know you wake up at this time and you start working at this time, then it can be a disruption. I think the second one that we found at least has worked for me and it's working for others is having a clear space that you use. So every morning you know that I have my desk sitting here or have put this space where that's where I go and plug and play and work from. So a lot of our tools are purely secured. We work with companies that are not based here, so we've had to invest heavily to ensure that we also have data protection for any work that we're doing and delivering for them.
Is this what the future of work looks like?
I think the future of work is already here based on what we're currently going through. Because when you think of it from just the basic operational cost a company would go through, if I'm providing space for an employee within the organization, I have to think of different things. I have to think of providing power for them. I have to think of providing a proper work environment for them. I have to think of the space. And you know, space is not cheap for any organization, they can tell you that.
In the words of famous Irish songster Van Morrison, these are the days of new beginnings. There is no past, there's only future. And this may well be the future of work.
I think work will be evaluated from the merit of the end product, not the people. Not people showing up in office with ties. So long as you can deliver at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you are. That should be the future of work.
That the new normal is stretching the human capacity to the limit could never be overstated, but one thing is certain, that this new phase of work is one we are not walking away from anytime soon.
That piece by Edmond Nyabola kicks us off on that conversation of the day, working from home. And to help us wade through this conversation this morning, I'm joined by Tom Shivo, who is the HR director at HF Group. I'm also joined by Nancy Kabiru, who is a psychologist and also a life coach. And we are also joined by Wanjiro Kanyotu, who is actually a stay-at-home mom and has experience at working from home. Then we also have Tepeni Kimaru, who also has experience working from home, especially during this season. Thank you for joining us, guys. I'll start off with you, Tom. Now, clearly, working from home has become the norm. What are the challenges that employers are dealing with in as far as the change of working and careers?
Well, there are a number of issues. First and foremost is the element of ensuring we have the right productivity, the environment around which they are working with the social distance and relationship issues that come in place. Are they going to be effective enough for the employees to deliver? The second thing is, even as they work from home, is the ergonomics right? The ergonomics in terms of the sitting arrangement, the comfort, the environment that they will be able to deliver. What about the wellness of the employee? The wellness of the employee on the basis that, for instance, you'd find that some people would probably be seated throughout without appropriate breaks and otherwise. But ultimately also, the business continuity is of concern. Business continuity on the basis that today work is radically different. Work that probably was customer facing is now not going to be customer facing. The skill set that is now required is radically differentiated. The new skill set probably would be one that one needs to move to business behavioral analysis, which is radically different from what they used to be, and how are you able to match that new skill set speed enough for you to be able to deliver as required. And those would be some of the issues that would be the challenges that employers are facing today.
Okay, now Tom, away from the employees, let's talk about you as an employer. You talked about customer facing and the lack of it. Considering human resource has a lot to do with dealing with your employers and making sure that you are taking care of their welfare, how has that changed for you as a HR practitioner?
First and foremost is the management style has to change. For instance, while in the past it was a little bit of some physical touch, today we have to apply a lot of empathy and managing teams that are distributed, virtual teams. So today you have to manage people virtually, remotely, and at the same time distributed all over. Now that's a new leadership aptitude that we have to upskill our managers very, very quickly. The second thing is the element of the capability building that we have to drive. For instance, I've just given the example of the customer facing. Today, the probable new skill is application of analytics and behavioral science, and how fast are we able to build that capability to be able to catch that aptitude. And then lastly also, when it comes to the recruitment, we have to apply new tools. We have to rely on digital technology that probably will give you the right predictive indexes that you are able to apply and apply to the right recruitment selection processes that you may want to put in place. While there are varied number of them, the next thing is an element of change. How are you able to change as fast enough with the times, but understand and appreciate that this is now going to be the new way of work. We have to change from an element of what it used to be like to what it is now going to be like. Remember, everyone who prepares for the new normal is going to be best suited to deploy productivity going forward. And that change is a radical element that every employer needs to put in place.
And talking about changes, let's bring in Tepeni Kimaru. And now, you had an office that you worked in and actually practiced your trade, but you had to close that office and adapt to working at home. How has it been?
It has been quite a challenge, first of all, because working from home was okay at first, because kids would go to school and then now you have space, you can do your own thing. But then after that, when schools are closed, suddenly you have co-workers in the house. It becomes a bit chaotic because they're all over the place, they want your attention, so it becomes very, very difficult to work.
Okay, and what warranted you to close shop?
Well, business was a bit tough. I think things were difficult sometime last year. And I was in the events industry. So the results now, I just thought maybe I can operate from home. So that's why I decided to close shop, and it was working perfectly. So now after that, now come COVID-19, now that created new challenges, because now after that, I mean, with no people gathering, then there's no work for our kind of industry. So we have to think fast and do something different. Now it happens that in the university I studied sciences, maths and chemistry. So the best thing to do was probably look back and see what can I do that will keep me busy, at least for the time being. Probably it will grow to something bigger. So that point, and then of course with kids at home, then that's another opportunity, because kids need to continue learning. They don't have their teachers, probably their parents could be a bit busy. Science is usually a big problem for many students, so I decided I can start teaching. And that's how I started teaching now market chemistry for high school students.
Okay,
But
now interesting. Tom Shivo, listening to Tepeni, he brings in a very interesting point. Versatility of skills. One job did not work, he had to adapt to the next one. What does this say or point to going forward?
Indeed, that's one of the changes that are critical in today's world. Remember, we have job losses that has impacted the society today. At the same time, also, we have extinguished skill sets that would now not be required in the new in the new dispensation. To this extent, therefore, is how quickly enough are you able to reskill yourself. I take examples like, for example, if you look at organizations, say, for example, in the food and industry, these are people whom previously used to depend on sit-in, but today they are going to be much more on delivery. So the skill set of some of the people will actually be vanquished and extinguished totally. So critically is, remember, this change is disrupted purely on the basis of digitization, to the extent that you are able to drive delivery through a digital or platform. So number one is the new dispensation is one that is going to be driven by learning and change that is driving the changes of tomorrow. The second thing, it doesn't have to be an element of the physical skills, but rather platforms. You probably will be able to deliver on platforms and probably digital platforms, but at the same time also the new skill sets that you have to very, very quickly relook at the stuff and how is it that they are able to be reskilled to comply to the new requirements. Now, while reskilling is very easy to say, but we have to also give it the time and patience for people to acquire and relearn this new skill. So we are going to see challenges in delivery purely on the basis of that particular need. And HR is very critical in delivering this particular change.
Okay, let's bring in Wanjiko Kanyotu, who is a stay-at-home mom. You are a mother of 3 children. Has staying at home for everyone brought a change to your own life?
Yes, definitely it has. I've been home for the last 12, 13 years, brought up the children and now homeschooling them. Staying at home has changed, but I know that with this season, there's been a complete new change and we feel interrupted as much as this was our way of life.
Okay, and when you say interrupted, does that mean Mr. Kanyotu came home and now is in your space?
Exactly. I think that's one of the changes. While we had our own space, our own routine, our own way of doing things, I think one of the things is I've had to let go of this space of mine, which I knew was mine. So we would wake up and now we have to think, okay, so who has a meeting? Who needs to work first, you know? And so our space has definitely been interrupted. Definitely a positive.
Okay.
We are happy to have him. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
so we are
now I have talked to a
home.
couple of mothers who have said that at times they feel their needs have had to take a back seat for the sake of the mister who came home. Is that the feeling at home for you?
It is. So we have to share space. And most of the time you're thinking, okay, quiet, daddy's in a meeting. You know, so while we were easy and we had our way of doing things, now we have to consider his home, his meetings. And I don't know why you feel that he's more important. I mean, I think it's a natural feeling, but we also want to give him that space because he used to go to the office. He had a space where he would work, you know, uninterrupted. Now he has interruptions. So yes, definitely. My needs have had to take a back space and a back seat just to accommodate him. It is positive because we are happy to have him home.
All right. Now, you keep saying you're happy to have him home. I can imagine the kids are ecstatic. How do you make sure that they're not carried away and interrupt him and you in as far as day-to-day business?
That has been difficult. More because we are all here in this space. They can't go out. While we had activities where we would be out, even for them, so I'm feeling one, their lives are also interrupted. So how do I protect them, and how do I protect him, and how do I protect myself? That has been a difficult space. I can't say we have it all worked out. We have had to schedule meetings maybe much earlier before they wake up, allow them to wake up a little later so you can do something. Like now they are asleep. They should wake up at about 8 or 9, which is good for us. So you have a good 2 hours to work. My husband is a businessman, which is good. That means he can work around his meetings. We also have had to create another working space that, you know, we can move to if one room is taken. Yeah.
Okay, now many homes have had to let go of their house helps. Is that the case in your own home, and how have you adapted to it?
Yes, it is. That has been difficult because then that adds another role to me and to the children, really to all of us. So the first 3 weeks were crazy. It was adjusting from immediately, okay, so we cannot have, our nanny comes and goes. So we didn't have the luxury of saying, you know, we have a living nanny, don't leave the house, and come up with a workout, you know, a work plan on how we can have them home. Now we had to let her go and say, you know, you can't come. So how do we work it out? So means more work on me. Children also have had to step up, thankfully, because of already being home, and they homeschool, so they were already used to being in this space. They have been trained to, they have chores to do, they have things they do, whether the house help was there or not. So that's been positive because it's working for us. But they have had to learn how to cook now so that they can help mommy. Kevin, my husband, has also had to step in, and he's becoming a great cook by the day. So we have a roast day, we have a day where the boys, you know, daddy and our son cook, and then we have the girls' day, and then we have mommy day. So that's been, I guess it's brought a lot of creativity as much as there's been a lot of work.
Okay, before I let you go, Shiko, you sound like a super mom. How do you handle all this and keep a smile on your face?
I cannot say I am a super mom. I think one, I would say God gives me the grace to do this. And the other thing is we have a routine, a way of doing things. We have a routine that's worked for our family. And that has helped me move, you know, every day, wake up and say, okay, so this is what we do, and this is what we do next, and this is what we do next. That kind of just helps work things around. Number 2, I also get space to declutter. It can be much. So once in a while, I'll get into the car and leave the house and just go and breathe and come back so that I am whole to you know, to sort out my family. And then I have a great support. My husband is great. I mean, he's been a great support. He's helping around. He steps in. So I'm not doing this alone. So I'm thankful for that. I have amazing children who also step in and help. So it's teamwork, really.
Okay, Wanjiko Kanyutu, thank you for sharing your experience. Very encouraging and a good pointers in as far as dealing with everything that is changing within their home. Thank you for your time, and we wish you safety and good health at this time. Now, Nancy Kabiru, I'm sure you were listening to Wanjiko, and she kept saying breathing, breathing. What is the importance of ensuring that we keep our mental wellness intact?
I like Wanjiko's take, because breathing helps to recenter the mind. You refocus, and you're able to adjust to the reality that you're facing at that particular situation. So it is an important thing that everybody needs to learn, and you can make it as simple as you can or as complex as you want, just so that you can be able to focus and take a step back and adjust to what you need to do.
Okay, and at this point, definitely a lot of changes happening at the same time. You've touched on why the importance of trying to keep that balance, but what is the most critical in all this?
Understanding that change is inevitable, and everybody appreciates a sense of accomplishment. You are not able to say that you have accomplished if you have never faced a challenge. So in this COVID-19 situation where everybody has to adjust, it is important to accept the reality. Look at your family situation. For some people, they have support. For others, they don't have support. So you need to create routines that you can work. If it is involving your children around helping you, have a routine around that. Don't distract what their school work is always about. When there is a routine, you're able to take some time out and relax. You're able to adjust, you're able to ask people to help you, and you're able to decide on what is important for you at a particular time. If you have deadlines that you need to meet, then you're able to plan your time without so much of a stress. Without a routine, or without teaching the children or the people around your homestead what you're doing and what they need to be doing, then there will definitely be a crash. Remembering the work environment assumes that you are working as an individual and they don't factor all these other changes that work around you. So it is important as an individual to know what is important, what do you need to adjust to, how can you best go about that. And if you find at one point you're facing a certain conflict, that is a pointer that there was an issue that was not previously well addressed. So it is important to learn how you can best bring your best self well and readjust, learn new skills, and go for it.
Okay, now let me bring in Tepeni Kimaru. We're talking about help going a long way in adjusting to the new normal of working at home. Is Mrs. Kimaru helping out here? How do you share out the roles here?
By virtue of being home, you definitely do see each other a bit more. But now you have to probably have different working spaces, so that at least you don't interfere with work still, because work still has to be done. So you just have to find a balance between how do you have time together, how do you get to.
Well, it seems that we cannot,
I
cannot hear Tepeni Kimaru, but as soon as we can get that rectified. If we have Tom Shivo still on the line, Tom, a lot of changes that are coming through, and clearly Nancy has made it clear it is imperative to look out for the mental wellness of your employees. Is this something that is actively happening?
Now, this is definitely a critical part of just making sure that there's enough resilience on the people side. And she's talked to it very, very clearly. But from a people management perspective, some of the critical things that we just back up all the elements that she's been able to say. One is just the element of continuous communication, to see to it that you reduce the element of anxiety on staff, you reduce and bring clarity of continuity for business. Number two is also provide psychosocial support or psychological support, either through counseling or otherwise. Remember, as long as it is available, those who require it must be able to access it. And then number three is bring in element of enabling staff to appreciate that their work environment must be fit enough for purpose, and therefore to what extent are they able to move around, physical exercise, and be able to declutter some of the elements that would distract their work, just to give emphasis. But there is one particular point I just want to add, which is about the support that you give to, for example, special groups like staff who have disability or young mothers, and to what extent you are able to support them to still be able to work while dealing with the circumstances that they have at home. So for instance, pregnant women or young mothers, what kind of levers are you able to encourage that they take while at home, so that it's not about pressure of work, and that's the focus, but you also have to have that particular balance. So to me, those are the other supporting elements or enablers that is important to put in place.
Very critical. Now, Tepeni Kimaru, how does it work in your house? How is role sharing looking like?
So everyone knows what they should be doing at whatever time. So of course, work has to be done between because now for my wife, the schedule is the same for work hours, so she has to be online at that point working. For me, it's a bit more flexible. So yeah, we just know what somebody should be doing at whatever time, and then so everybody does their part.
When it comes to the children, how are you handling? Because you cannot ignore them.
Well, again, first of all, yeah, they're all over the place. So it can be a bit of a challenge. But the good thing is that the youngest is 4, so they are quite independent. So not too much of a bother, if I can put it that way. But yes, you have to give them attention. So with what I'm doing now with the teaching, I don't have classes like all through the day. So I have slots when I can actually give them attention. And also, I mean, despite the fact that they can't really go out and play with all their friends as they do previously, at least they have some space where they can play around with each other. So they're pretty much occupied between playing, the bonding with us, and also doing some schoolwork here and there as we monitor them.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. All of us have had to face either loss of income, reduction of salaries. For you, closure of a business clearly made this a reality. How are you adjusting?
Well, now, first of all, because now you can't really go out every weekend, so that has really cut down on the expenses. But at the same time, you just have to readjust and work with what is available, really. The switch has helped. Still, there's space for growth. I can see that. But it's a new reality. You have no option, really. So some things, of course, costs have gone down because, I mean, something like fuel. So, I mean, with less moving around, definitely that has cut on the costs. Well, but things like food, it has gone up because kids are in the house and they're probably eating all the time. So we just have to make do with what we have. And at the same time, you try to see how can I improve, how can I probably cut costs, how can I make things work as it is, because it's a new reality. What can you do? What is not a necessity has to go. So you only, for now, just stick to bare essentials, really.
Okay, now Wanjiko earlier had mentioned for her taking time away from the family to just breathe, me time, has helped her go through. Do you have any of that?
Nowadays, me time is when you go to the supermarket, I think. That is probably what gives you different experience. And I also happen to be a runner, so on Saturday mornings, I just leave the house, go run for 10, 15 kilometers. So such things are the ones that probably keep me sane, but otherwise you are in the house 24/7, you can't tell which day of the week is. I had to contact my SDA friends to tell me when it's Saturday. So that's the only way I can keep track of time. It's difficult, but I think you just have to create that time. And then the other thing we do, of course, with the kids, again, keeping them in the house can get quite tricky for them. So you have to create time again for them. So I go out with them for about an hour or so in the evening, closely monitored. They don't just interact with people, so that maybe social distancing and all, you make sure they have their masks and all. You just have to try and operate with a new normal. And thankfully, they understand what we are talking about. So they pretty much follow the instructions. And I can say it's working. All factors considered, it's working quite well.
Okay, Tepeni, before I let you go, last week you talked about the importance of a man cave, that community with other men. Now that you can't do it physically, how are you making sure you're in contact with your boys?
Interestingly, I think because before this we would meet for breakfast once in a while, and that would happen probably once every 3 or 4 months. So it was quite rare, if I can put it that way. I mean, just a random text here and there, and that's it. But since this COVID-19 manenos came along, we have actually met virtually, probably once every 3 weeks to a month. So I can say we know we've been able to be in contact more than we were before, which is quite interesting. So that's the good side of all this. So not lost touch.
Okay.
In fact, we've now been in better contact than we were before.
Excellent. Thank you for speaking to us, Tepeni Kimaru, who is working at home. He had to close a business and adjust to the new normal and actually take up a new skill set to keep him going. But even as we look at the new normal, which is working from home in the African fashion, homes don't necessarily mean furnished apartments. Having a few animals around is a reality to many. You know how it looks like in Africa. And in this case, on the announcement of people working remotely, this is how Kenyans envisioned the reality of working from home.
The youth from 15 years have a lot of privileges compared to Africa, while the adult age remains at 18 years.
The new reality, and it looks different for different people. Now, virtual meetings have become our new normal too, and from Zoom meetings to Skype calls, these are a few pointers we'd like to share with you even as you hack this virtual reality.
Tips to look presentable in video call. Number 1. Stay in the center of the screen. Your face shouldn't be too high or too low. Number 2. Camera should be at face level and should maintain a distance of 30-inch or 1 arm distance. Number 3. Light should be in front of you, not behind you. Number 4. While using a phone for video call, make sure it's in landscape mode. Number 5. Your background should be preferably plain or minimalistic. If possible, use a virtual background with your company logo. Number 6. Try to make sure nobody keeps moving around behind you while you are in the meeting. Number 7. Keep the camera on. It's considered indecent to keep the camera off. Number 8. Keep the mic on mute when you are not speaking. Number 9. Rename to make sure your company and your name appears. Number 10. Try being still. Do not move a lot. And don't fidget. Number 11. Eating is not considered decent. However, sipping a cup of coffee or tea is fine. Number 12. When you have to speak, speak in normal tone. Do not shout. Number 13. Always be on time, or 5 minutes early for meeting. Number 14. Dress smart and appropriately. You might have to stand. Number 15. When you are done, let the team know by telling, "I am done" or "thank you." Number 16. Stick to the time limit. Do not exceed it. Number 17. Always have a pen and paper handy to make notes of important points in meeting. Number 18. Make sure your battery power, mic, speakers, internet connection, and camera are all up and running. Number 19. Be attentive, focused, and avoid multitasking. Number 20. If you have to speak, prepare and practice your presentation or script. Most importantly, be yourself and smile.
Well, clearly some really good pointers there. All of us need, even as we embrace this virtual reality. Now, before we address what it comes with, let me go back to Tom Shivo. Tom Shivo, Tepeni talked about the loss of income. For him, it's closing a business. For others, it's actually a salary reduction or being laid off at the same time. How are you handling this?
Now, this is the unfortunate reality of the situation we are at. We have staff whom have lost their means, and to the extent that you still expect them to deliver if they are still working. For those who probably have had salary cuts, communication and counseling is one of the things that we've been able to deal with. Number two is we have been able to look around the reality and redefine the work programs, for example, the performance targets that they would have, so that it is something that is realistic to the delivery requirements and the pressure that would be required to see to it that this has a balance to the employees. But at the same time also encourage them to see that this is something that is temporal, and we have to commit ourselves to the reality of today. Otherwise, if nothing happens, then it will be a worse situation. And I'm not talking about those who probably have had salary cuts. But for those who have had loss of jobs, then there are about two things that people need to look at. One is that there is the reality that to the extent of the near future, jobs to come by will be a little bit of a longer term. So the psychological preparation for them to be able to reskill themselves and appreciate that it will a little bit take time to take this job is something that has to be considered. Now, at the exit of such employees, the relevant training to be able to bring up some of these points is important. The attachment to them, to organizations that can be able to support them in this particular time, is a practice that has been adopted by a number of companies, but at the same time also keeping in touch with them on the opportunities that would come, at least in the future, and that continuous communication is one thing that some organizations have been able to at least apply.
Okay, let's go back to our virtual reality and bring in Ndenya Masharia. She is an image and etiquette consultant. Thank you for joining us. And earlier we saw a presentation of the do's and don'ts when you are doing your virtual meetings. Let's start off with what to wear. This has been a thorn in the flesh.
Gladys, thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here, and I do want to say that for the people who are at home and going through difficult times, that you are not alone, and that that there is positivity out there, that if you look to the positive and to the good things that are happening, that there is a lot of positive things that can come out of this unprecedented times. Now, coming to what to wear in the world of digital, I think it's very important for people to know that depending on your work culture, it is important to dress appropriately for your work culture. So if you had a business culture where you wore suits, you may not necessarily have to wear the entire suit, but it may be important to wear a jacket for the meetings. I would say that a solid color will usually be better than different lines, patterns and things like that, because the cameras don't really appreciate multiple colors and patterns when it comes to how we want to appear visually. but it's important for us to not be too casual for the meetings. And then also, if you're trying to make a first impression, there are interviews going on at this stage, you want to look your best. So for the ladies, have a little bit of makeup, make your hair look really good. I know we've not been able to have the salon and not been able to do that.
Yes.
However, there are tricks that you can employ. So find if it's a good wig or if it's a good hairdo that you can put on for the sake of the meeting, as opposed to just looking rough and scruffy, which is some of what we have been seeing as people engage with the digital space.
Okay, let me bring in Tom Shivu here for a moment. Tom, as you're having those virtual meetings, what are some of the complaints you're hearing from the employers? How are people appearing for virtual meetings?
First and foremost, there's an element of the balance on etiquette and the balance of casual versus official. That's an important guideline that has to be set. Otherwise, then it's all over the place. The second thing is the element of the right technology. For instance, right battery power, right lighting, and all the elements around technology. So you find that technology at times fails, and then a meeting collapses purely on that. But I think it's important that guidelines are set up at the beginning of it all, so that at least we are able to comply to all this. And then another thing is people at times don't dedicate the right time and the right seriousness that some of these meetings happen, so that you find that you are in a meeting, but then you forget to put off your mic, and then there's some background activity happening to the extent that some people are not even seriously concentrating on the events of the meeting, and they are concentrating on other things. And then lastly is also the element of time management. A meeting is supposed to take a certain timeline. While you need to dedicate that specific time, some of these meetings, in terms of the complaints that we've been receiving, are taking a little bit too long because of the verbose nature that the meetings have taken. Those are some of the key things that come into play.
Okay, now Ntenya, Tom talks about some of the etiquette that they are dealing, or the lack of it, that they're dealing with even as they're having the virtual meetings. Let's start with the basics. How do you set yourself up in front of that camera so that you can get maximum impact, or even somebody to remember you after that meeting?
So we're calling it net etiquette, which is netiquette. And we're saying that it's important, as Tom has said, for you. First of all, I think people should learn to practice. Take your phone out. Zoom is a free service. You can actually turn on the Zoom, do a meeting on your own, and then see what you look like. Make sure that your background, you're too noisy. Make sure, like Tom has said, lighting is very important. I've seen a lot of people standing by the window and with the window behind them and thinking that that's the perfect position for light. The best position is for the window to be in front of you so that the light is coming into the room and we can be able to see your face clearly. If you don't have a window that you can use, you probably could get a lamp in the house and then put it over right next to your camera. That way it'll be giving light to your face so that people can see you. Light is your friend. It's one of those very important things when it comes to having a good meeting. And then practice. It's important for people to practice how they sound, make sure that the sound is working, make sure that they sound good, and that you can practice. A lot of us have maybe multiple people at home, or we have friends we can call and ask them, how do I look? How do I sound? That way you're not second guessing yourself. The other thing you could do is take a screenshot of yourself to see what you look like. It may be possible that you wear a certain top or jacket, but you take the picture, it doesn't look good. And so given the fact that we are at home, your home advantage means you can change. And you don't overprocess the whole look. The big things, as we are moving on into the etiquette of it, make sure that there are no distractions. And the distractions could be everything from people chewing, eating and drinking, to typing on their computer and making noises. once your microphone is on, then any other noise in the environment and the ambience will be heard. And so it's important to just make sure that there are no distractions in your space. So some of us have children, and I heard one of the ladies say earlier, you can tell your children that mommy is having a meeting or daddy is having a meeting. If you have the luxury of having maybe a nanny or a spouse, you can ask them to exit maybe go outside, play some football as they wait for you to finish your meeting if they're going to be noisy. If not, find a room or a space. It could even be in the kitchen where you can have your meeting in private or in a place that's quiet where you can actually have your meeting and not have many distractions happening.
Okay, we will come back to the fact that there's some people who are joining in on meetings consistently without their videos on. But before we get to that, let me just have a tiny inkling from Nancy. Nancy, too many changes. They say when you feel good on the inside, it shows on the outside. Please emphasize on this.
I like the fact that the lady who just spoke before me mentioned that light is your friend. And light has a way of making the mind brighten up. So when you're able to brighten yourself from the inside, have positive thoughts, positive emotions, positive feelings, even your outside will show. Even when you're under pressure, you will be able to look as though you're very composed. Because right now we are talking about having those virtual meetings. How will you have a virtual meeting, dress up for it, put on makeup if you're not feeling good on the inside? You need to take care of your inside. You need to declutter your mind. You need to talk to people. Keep social contact. If not within the house, call people. Join in on WhatsApp communication. Join in on any other social thing that is going on virtually, so that your inside is always heightened and you're at a good space to talk or to communicate with a person on one-on-one or even virtually if it is work required or any other way. So it is important to ensure that your inside is not too cluttered. You're not under pressure, you're not under stress, you're not under depression, so you're happy. And be in touch with your own emotion. Understand that you are the drive, you're the engine, you're the one who can be open enough to accept the changes that are happening around. So we know salary cuts and job losses may shock your reality, but how do you respond to a threat? Understand the best way to respond to a threat is being able to fight it. And you fight it by adjusting, by putting in plans, by having goals, by setting your mind up for a challenge that you will be able to overcome. Break it down to things that you can be able to accomplish. Don't look at it as a mountain that is all of a sudden in front of your face and you cannot be able to jump over. If you're able to break down and say, I will take a step at a time and I will be able to accomplish this, then you will be able to capture yourself and give yourself that energy from within, and outwardly you will be able to achieve what you're looking for. Gladys.
Very well said. Now, before we take our fast show break on Your World, feedback coming from you. Remember, the question of the day is, what is your experience working from home? Share with us the good, bad, and the outright ugly. That hashtag new normal. And of course, you can send us those WhatsApp videos to just give us an idea of how it looks like for you. And I have one here from Remy Mumo who says, it's been amazing. I can't change a single thing. We continue working from home till retirement. Joseville Masika says, I don't work. Being a Jua Kali guy, I can't manage to do my welding work in my single-roomed house. Yes, that is a reality for some people, depending on their craft. And then there is another one from Sherry who says, the cost of bundles. Government should have helped with the bundles. This working at home, yes, calls for Wi-Fi and bundles to get it done. Momanyi Barak says, it has been good and have really enjoyed myself. Ron Lyon says, I invest much, in return I gain much and I spend less. I think this is the best experience. Well, keep those comments coming through, and clearly some are having a good time at home, and others, the reality of working at home has taken away their sources of income. Your experiences still on our hashtag new normal. Time for a short break. We'll be back right after this.
Just move to the next level with the Daily Nation. Every day, every Monday, Junior Sport will move you to the top of your class with KCPE revision papers. To move to a healthier, fitter, and more conscious you, read The Healthy Nation every Tuesday. My network will inspire your career, your passion, your biashara, and your network every Friday. Just move to the truth.
This is Fact Finder from the BBC.
They speak about Ebola. You may see people there saying that it is a business from outside these countries.
We'll tell you how misinformation is keeping Ebola patients away from clinics and driving the numbers of infection.
How did Nigeria go polio-free for 3 years? We went digging for the facts.
And former Ghanaian President Jerry Rawlings recounts his experience as a victim of fake news.
And we also tell you how social media posts saved a sick giraffe in a Kenyan game park.
Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo, and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors, and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observes social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
Thank you for staying with Your World. My name is Gladys Gachanja. Our co-conversation today, working from a home, and we're asking you on the question of the day to share with us your experience working from home. Tell us the good, bad, and the outright ugly. That hashtag, the new normal, and we shall be getting to your feedback in a moment. And of course, if you have WhatsApp videos, to just give us a clear indication of how that looks like for you, you can send through that WhatsApp number at the bottom of your screen. Still with me me as we talk about this. Tom Shivo, HR Director at the HF Group. I have Ndenya Masharia, who is an image and etiquette consultant. I'm still with Nancy Kabiru, who is a psychologist and life coach. Thank you for staying with us. Now, Tom, before we went to break, we were talking about the importance of actually thinking about the etiquette, especially when you're having these virtual meetings that are part and parcel of working from home. As an employer, when you call for a meeting, an employee comes on without their video on. What message does that pass to you?
Okay, first and foremost is that meetings are meetings, and they remain official as long as it is discussing business issues. So I would expect the formality that is required to also apply in virtual meetings. So when you don't come in with your video, it drives the intent of probably not being present in the meeting. So it is always recommended because remember there's someone else who talked about the facial expression also gives and communicates a lot. There is a need to listen to the nonverbal communication, but there's also the need for presence within the meeting. So videos, I would recommend it be something that is almost mandatory to the extent that you need to be present in a meeting.
Now, something else you had mentioned is the fact that there seems to be a problem with the network. At times, meetings are dropped, or it just takes too long trying to figure out the logistics of it. But some people, even from the feedback, are saying bundles are expensive, and this has not reflected in people's salaries. So how are you addressing this?
No, first and foremost, there is an element of the responsibility of the organization to enable such technology. So, for example, I may be in a place which doesn't have the right level of boosted network. Can I provide for bundles? The best practice would be that you do a review and then you enable that facility. So if the computer is able to be connected to the organization, either through VPN or otherwise, so that it makes it easier and seamless to connect, then that's an advantage. And where that is not a possibility, the companies need to look out for ways to enable that. While I would still appreciate that this is something that is changing every day, technology will take time for it to be adopted, but we don't have any excuse. We just have to enable it.
Ndenya, how critical is it for you to appear and for the person you're addressing in a meeting to be seen? Well, I'm told we don't have Ndenya for now, but let's go to Nancy. We are talking about the importance of making sure that you appear, that it goes a long way in ensuring that you are still part and parcel of the process. How is this imperative? Why is it important to appear in person? The video should be on and you should be attentive through meetings. What does that do to your psyche?
When you appear in person and you're seeing the other person on video, you have a feeling of being heard, that you're important enough for them to devote time for you to express what you need to express. So it is important also to reciprocate the same for the other person. We don't switch off your video unless there is distraction behind you. But if there is no distraction within the room you're in, keep your video on so that your body language can communicate to the other person and you can also pick from them. I think it is the only respectable to do so and to be able to accord another person what they are requesting for. Imagine a situation where you've been called for a physical meeting and you don't show for the meeting and everyone is waiting for you in a boardroom, but you go on a call. You call them to communicate, yet you had confirmed that you would be available. What would that do to the people who were expecting you? You know, how do they carry you? what message do you send by being absent? So it is important to keep your video on so that you can read the other person's body language and read your own body language. I'm just standing here and I'm seeing progress begins with a belief that what is necessary is possible. It is a statement I have in the office. So you have to believe that it is necessary, it is important to be available for a meeting just as much as the other person is available for it. Be there physically, look good for it, prepare for it earlier in advance, have the necessary notes, make sure you have proper lighting, keep a smile on, and agree or disagree properly. Don't bring up social fights or write text that everybody can see on a group that you don't, for things that you don't agree. Be cordial and maintain the proper etiquette of work.
Okay, and even as we're talking about this, shouldn't there be a consideration for those who have too many balls in the air? For example, that mother, and this morning she's supposed to have a meeting, it's chaotic in the house. Can't she be considered at least to join in with our video? Maybe with proper explanation?
Well, you know, work is work and social is social. Maybe for a social meeting, you can be excused. But for a work meeting, it is important to have the proper plans in place. We understand that you could be busy or that the kids can just pop in, but please ask someone to help you with the kids when you need to attend to work. Because there are situations where on a normal circumstance, you don't go to with a child to work. What are the necessary means that you put in place? Please put that in place so that you can be able to focus, because having a distraction on your end, say your child is coming in for the meeting or you don't want to put on a video, then it is affecting somebody else's concentration or contribution to a meeting.
Okay, now speaking of working from home and other new normals, there is something called telemedicine. Yes, medicine services or medical services brought to you right from your or to your living room. And to help us this conversation is Dr. Don Othoro, who joins us from the United Kingdom. He is the founder and the CEO of Volunteers Health. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Mugo Kibati, who is the CEO of Telcom Kenya. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Now, to start us off, Dr. Don Othoro, exactly what is telemedicine to a layman?
Well, thank you very much for having us, Gladys. Well, telemedicine is essentially two words. Tele means remote, and medicine, we all know what medicine means. And what we're just trying to say is that now, in this day and age, the concept of getting your health advice remotely through a mobile phone is very possible and very doable. If you think about it, telemedicine actually was first described way back at the turn of the century, and it's literally taken about 100 years for it to come into maturity. And this is because the mobile phone is the remote control of our lives these days. So we believe that you can get everything on your mobile phone. You can do your banking, you can book your tickets for airlines, you can go to church, watch church services online now using your phone. So healthcare is just a natural extension now of us being able to seek medical advice. And we're all doing it already. So many people WhatsApp their doctors, they WhatsApp their friends who are nurses and have been doing this for a while now. So what we've just been able to do is to bring this into an organized platform where wherever you are in the country, you can be able to access, speak to a doctor, have a consultation, and potentially get a prescription.
And how does telemedicine, especially in this season of COVID-19, what's the importance of it during this pandemic?
Sorry, just missed the last bit of your question.
I'm asking, how does telemedicine address the current pandemic, that is COVID-19?
It does, and it's done. We've been operating for the last 3 years, and at the beginning of this year, we had no concept of what was going to happen with the COVID-19 pandemic. And the whole concept of social or physical distancing has brought a whole new dimension to how we live life as human beings. And what telemedicine has been able to do is being able to address COVID as an entity. In other words, people who have got COVID-type symptoms, we don't want them going into hospital to potentially infect people who may have the condition, but also the people who don't have COVID-like symptoms who still need to get medical attention and are quite wary or anxious of going into hospital. So what telemedicine has been able to do, it's been able to be a platform or conduit where we can serve both COVID cases and non-COVID cases remotely, unlocking the space in hospitals for patients who actually need to be admitted. Or if somebody's sick enough with COVID that needs to get admitted, they can have a space in the hospital for it. So I think it's been really essential, and we are seeing it all over the world progressing really fast.
We're calling it telemedicine, meaning there is a telecommunication aspect of it. Mugo Kibati, why invest in health and why at this time?
We as a telecommunications company have realized that telecom, as well as other telecommunications companies, will now be an enabler to society. This has been a long time in coming, and really all that this pandemic or epidemic has done.
I seem to be having a problem with the audio with Mugo. Mugo will be back to you in a moment. Back to you, Dr. Don Othoro. Tell me more about Dial Daktari. Who exactly is he targeting?
Is targeting everybody. Initially, when people talk about telemedicine, they always have this misconception that it's actually just for millennials or young people. What we found in our experience is that people of all age groups, I'll give an example, my mother, she's always on her phone in WhatsApp groups, getting medical information and tips from her friends, from church colleagues, and she consistently sends them to me and asks me questions. So we found that in the older generation who have adopted telecommunications are actually very actively using telemedicine. So it spans from the 18-year-old right up to the 75-year-old who actually has realized that they can get health advice through their mobile device. And especially when they trust that source of healthcare, they're very, very happy to have their consultations, especially when they don't need to go through traffic, look for parking, get onto matatus. They've really adopted it quite surprisingly well. So this is something that we've realized now is for everybody in all ages. Some people will adopt it earlier, some people will adopt it later, but generally we're having fantastic uptake, and I think people are very happy with the system.
I think we now have Mugo Kibati. I tell you, the challenges of working from home. Mugo, why telemedicine? Why now?
I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Very good. So as I was starting to say earlier on, telecommunication will now become much more of an enabler for other services, for life as we know it, frankly speaking. So you'll be hearing a lot of telemedicine, teleeducation, telecommuting. And we as Telecom Kenya have partnered with Don and his team because we think that they provide a very critical service, especially at this point in time. It's important for people to realize, for all of us to realize that while we are all focused, and rightly so, on the COVID-19 epidemic, which we must address, life hasn't suspended other ailments. People are still falling sick, as Don has just said. And we felt that we would like to now begin helping this new normal setting, allow people to be able to connect to a doctor when they have all sorts of ailments which they're still having. Kids are still falling sick and parents are wondering, what do I do? How do I get to a hospital? So we felt that it was important to partner with Dial Daktari, and we're very proud of this partnership that allows people to be able, Kenyans to be able to get attention right in their homes. So this is a new normal, Gladys, and I think that we at Telecom Kenya find that it is important that we do a little bit more than just connecting people. We realize that as Telecom Kenya, we're going to have to move a little bit higher and start actually offering services beyond simple connectivity.
Okay, Dr. Don, walk us through Dial Daktari. When I make that call, what should I expect? Walk me through the process.
So we've tried to make it as simple as possible. So I'll explain the two aspects that exist in terms of dial diary. We have a mobile phone app called Valentis Health app, but then we've also have a call center where you can actually just pick up the phone and call. The reason for this is we're very aware that not every Kenyan has got a smartphone where they'll be able to download an app. So we wanted to have a portal, a place that anybody who just even has a feature phone is able to pick up the phone and dial the number. And what happens is when you dial the number that the telecom has given us, the toll-free number, which is 0800 22 10 11, you get a care manager who takes some very basic details at the beginning. We try not to be really intrusive, but we also try and make sure that it's not a medical emergency that would need an ambulance to be called straight away. After that, it's a very basic registration, just in the same way when you go into a clinic, they ask you some very basic details. Once we've done that, that kind of mini triage process allows us to be able to assign a doctor to you. The doctor will then give you a call back and be able to do the consultation. So some people will call and they're in a very noisy, busy place, and they'll say, oh, can you call me in an hour's time when I'm back at home, when it's more quiet? And we're very happy to do that. Some people will say, well, I need to have a consultation, in the evening, and we can do that. So it's very flexible, and we try to create convenience. And this is where the partnership with Telecom Kenya has been absolutely fantastic. They've been brilliant in being able to facilitate all the telecommunication, the technology that allows us to be able to help and assist our patients in the best way possible. So if you wanted to download the app, then you could download the app. And again, what this would use from Google Play Store and from the Apple Store, you can download the app and simply have your own portal where you can communicate privately with your doctor. So you can send us a text message. You could do a video chat like this through the app, or you could be able to even receive your prescriptions or get blood test requests, X-ray requests through it. So it's essentially, it's like your personal healthcare assistant that you have in your pocket.
In this day and age where Kenya is dealing with things like curfews, if you feel it's an emergency, can you dispatch an ambulance to the patient?
Yes, we actually, when we first started, and this is something that we feel really proud about. When we first started, we were essentially just a primary care service. But then we got into a partnership with E+, where we are able to now dispatch an ambulance if we find that the call requires an emergency. And especially if people are in the remote rural areas, then what we can do is we can actually communicate directly with them and say, actually, you need an ambulance, and we can get that sent out. So that's something that's actually quite unique. Not too many telemedicine companies do that, but we felt because of the need, the local need, that was something that was really essential. So you can have that done as well.
Mogo, we're talking about these services available on your telecom line. How can we ensure that all Kenyans can access them?
Well, that's a very good question, Gladys. Look, one of the things that we realized when this crisis set in is that we had to re-optimize or optimize our network, what we call rebalancing, because obviously people left their offices in droves and are now working from home. And so we are currently in the process, and we've gone a long way into it, of optimizing our network to be able to serve people in their residential areas better. In other words, because there's heavier requirement for data and broadband connectivity in people's homes, we have raised our capacity in residential areas and also across the country. As I said earlier on, with telemedicine, teleeducation, the various services that people must now receive from home, it means that the capacity, the data capacity that people have in their various homes has actually spiked significantly. And as you can imagine, that's been a bit of a challenge to adjust as quickly as we need to. And we intend to invest quite a bit in the residential areas and also across the country. There are students, for instance, if I may say, who aren't able to get back to their schools and have to get teleeducation learning right at their homes. So it's a challenge for us, but I think it's a good challenge because we feel that we're an important enabler at a time when people really need it. Coming back to telemedicine, there are many elements to it. I think I personally think that personal healthcare is the most important, making sure that people feel that they're able to have access to a doctor whenever they need it is important. But we're also supporting the development of digitized medical records across the country. We are now supporting a platform that will allow the collection of data across the country in the various counties of healthcare records that will help healthcare professionals, public decision makers be able to allocate resources much more efficiently going forward across the country, because we have better information in digitized format being collected through this other platform. So telemedicine for us is something which, as I said earlier on, was a long time coming, has been accelerated by this crisis. And I think people will realize, even post the COVID crisis, that the convenience that is offered by telemedicine and the investments that we will have made as Telecom Kenya towards ensuring good connectivity is something that we want to stay with even post-COVID.
Okay, and Dr. Dawn, before I take a break, how are people taking this up? For example, there are those who believe I have to be in the same room with my doctor.
See, that's a really great question and observation. The way I see it is this. 50, 100 years ago, people used to get onto carts, donkeys, horses to go see a doctor. And then we had motor vehicles and people were able to get into a car and drive to go see a doctor. Time has changed. And right now, the information superhighway called the internet is just a new facet, a way to actually communicate with the doctor. So the medicine is still the same. The medicine has not changed. In fact, sometimes we feel it's a little bit more efficient because there's less waiting for patients. But the face-to-face, I have done personally thousands of telemedicine consultation. And this started just before the recession in 2008 here in the UK, where there was no money to invest in the NHS. So we had to go to telemedicine. And we found the patient satisfaction was great. So what's happening is we're doing medicine in different ways, the same old traditional medicine. It's just the modality of how we do it is slightly different. So the face-to-face can be there if needed, but 70% don't necessarily need a face-to-face consultation.
I need to take a quick break. Gentlemen, Mugo, when we come back, I'd like to understand how we can make this the new reality post-COVID, and of course, how other Kenyans can be part and parcel of this game changer, but all that coming right after the short break.
Basic protective measures as guided by the World Health Organization. Clean hands frequently with soap and clean water. Cover nose and mouth when coughing and sneezing with a tissue or flexed elbow. Avoid close contact 1 meter or 3 feet with anyone with cold or flu-like symptoms. If you have fever, cough and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Avoid raw or uncooked animal products. Help the world put an end to the spread of respiratory diseases by sharing this message with a friend. Message brought to you by Sour Herbal Family Bath Soap.
Working from home? No problem. Fiber Home has you covered with the fastest and most reliable internet speeds. Get connected today. Kazi lazima iendelee.
To achieve great things in life, you must do little things every day, like the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate.
1, wake up. 2, brush up. 3, smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea. Smile through your day with a fresh breath and strong tea.
Do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate and give yourself a future to smile about.
Agatha, where are we going?
To my house, because I have to get something there.
What are you doing here? I'm calling Dad.
Don't! I can't go back to jail just yet, not until I've rescued Mother, since she's with Rocco.
How could you have raised your kids to be the selfish, despicable people they've become?
I just want you to know that I regret all the terrible things I did to you. I hope you can give me a chance. I want to make it up to all of you.
We still have a chance to be together again. We must work together to save our mother. We can be strong together because we're sisters.
COVID-19 is preventable. Protect yourself, your family, and the community. This message has been brought to you by the Government of Kenya and its partners.
It is your world. My name is Gladys Gachanja, and before we went to break, we were getting to understand more about telemedicine, even as our world changes and the new normal is a lot of the services you've needed before will be given to you from the comfort of your home. And giving us more details on this is Dr. Don Othoro, all the way from the United Kingdom. He's the founder and CEO of Valentine's Health, and Mr. Mugo Kibati, who is the CEO of Telcom Kenya. Now, Kenya is not the first, clearly, to adopt telemedicine. Which other countries have taken this up, and how have they handled it? Mugo.
I remember way back, some 20 years back, writing a paper on telemedicine, frankly speaking, but at that time it was a very futuristic idea. A lot of countries in the West, especially in Europe, the United States, the UK, where Don is based, have actually taken to telemedicine for all types of, you even have telesurgery going on today. We have an initiative that we're trying to engage in, but that may take a while, where we're going to have doctors all the way from Minnesota able to help doctors in Garissa, in Mandera, undertake surgery through telemedicine. That's a future that we're going to get into. And so, as I said earlier on, it was a long time coming, has been accelerated by this crisis, but it actually should not be stigmatized as a service that is only useful in a crisis. It actually, as Don said, is going to be the way of life. It's much more convenient. It's a 24/7 service. Any part of the country, you can have the best doctors in the world, the best cancer specialists, the best heart surgeons, sitting anywhere in the world and being able, through telemedicine, to treat real time, coordinating with doctors locally in any part of the country, even the most remote parts of the country. So we as Telcom Kenya are very keen, as I was earlier on, to expand our infrastructure, our broadband services across the country. This is why recently you had that we were launching the Loon balloon system, which is meant to help us cover underserved areas in this country where terrestrial broadband infrastructure is a problem. And once we have that done, services such as telemedicine, teleeducation, telecommuting, tele-entertainment, all will become highly available. But coming back to, again, to telemedicine, we made a decision, a deliberate decision as Telcom Kenya, as soon as this crisis broke out, to ensure that we do our bit using the infrastructure that we have to add on to services, partnering with the likes of Valentine's and Dr. Don Othoro, to be more useful to Kenyans. We have also, you may or may not know, provided free Wi-Fi, for instance, to the Kenyatta National Hospital Infectious Disease Unit at Mbagathi, which allows patients, doctors, nurses at Mbagathi, who are our frontline heroes, frankly speaking, to be able to talk to their loved ones anywhere across the world. Some of them are cooped up in there for long periods of time, and the only way they can connect in real time is through Wi-Fi, through video. And so this is why we've decided at the get-go to offer that service to Mbagathi for free. We've also done the same with the Ministry of Health, the National Coronavirus Committee, chaired by the CES for Health. You realize that in these times, they're connecting with the whole world. They're talking to doctors in China, in the US, to compare notes as they try and handle this pandemic. So telecom infrastructure, as I said, is an enabler that has a huge part to play. And we have to come up to speed. We have to go beyond connectivity and begin to ensure that the requisite services are offered. Our partnership with Afia Record, for instance, which I said earlier on, is helping the country manage data, healthcare data across the country, digitize it, and therefore help us realize a universal healthcare availability for all our countrymen, again being empowered by telecommunication services. So there's a lot we could talk about, Gladys.
Okay, Dr. Dawn, we've talked about the patient adapting to the new normal telemedicine. How are the doctors adapting to the same?
Well, one of the things that we're really proud about with Dal Daktari, we've got our own local doctors based in Kenya. And the way we actually consult is we have a lot of young doctors and older doctors. And across the board, again, surprisingly, the adaptation has been quite positive. So you have doctors who are 20 years post-graduation and some who are about 5 years. And both have understood the need of telemedicine in being able to serve the patients because they've been doing it informally already. A lot of doctors say they get WhatsApp calls, text message and calls on weekends. And this just allows them to provide a much better service through a platform that's secure and well curated. We're able to do calls right across the country, from Migori all the way to Lamu, to Marsabit, all over. In fact, we get calls from other surrounding countries. And what we're able to do is provide good quality, standardized care. And that's the really important thing. We are very, very big into transparency. And that's why I really appreciate the proactive nature that Telecom Kenya has had. We want our patients to feel that they're cared for. We want our patients to feel that they can access the medical records if they wanted to, because we believe the medical records are theirs as well. So through the app, we've got all these facilities. One of the big things that we are pushing and the big drive is mental health, because a lot of people don't want to go and seek mental health care because of the stigma, and they don't have time to take out from their workday. And especially during this COVID crisis, when mental health issues are rising, telemedicine, I think, is going to be quite a really useful instrument to be able to reach out to the people who may be suffering in silence during the lockdown, during the curfews, who may need to be able to speak to a counselor or speak to a doctor to be able to get medical attention.
Dr. Dawn, are you saying you have a thumbs up from the Ministry of Health and, of course, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Board?
So we have been in communication with the Medical Practitioner and Dentist Board, and we have been with the Communications Commission. Right now, the Medical Practitioners Board put out, had a working group and was submitted to the ministry. So we're waiting for the guidelines. We're really excited that the Kenya government is also quite proactive in this state. They know that telemedicine is something that will help be able to distribute healthcare to a greater population at a more affordable cost. So what we're just waiting for is now the legislation. And a lot of countries now are pushing for legislation for something that probably is long overdue. So we're really excited about the potential of what's going to happen with this.
Gentlemen, thank you for such an informative conversation. Dr. Dawn Othoro, founder and CEO of Valentis Health, and of course, Mugo Kibati, who is the CEO of Telecom Kenya, even as we embrace the new normal, telemedicine. Thank you and have a good rest of the day. Now, we are joined by my colleague, Julian Amboko from the Nation Center. Now, earlier on, even as we talked about working from home, this has had direct repercussions for those that have invested in the sectors. We're talking about real estate. What does that look like for those who are leasing out office spaces?
Many thanks, Gladys. I think the context that is needed here is that even before the COVID-19 situation, the real estate sector in Kenya was already undergoing what many have termed to be a correction. Earlier this year, I did a very in-depth piece titled The Housing Correction, just focusing on the issue of prices that have been softening or going down for a bit of a while now. And the situation is such that whether you're looking at residential on one hand or commercial on the other hand, both segments of the market have now been undergoing a correction whereby their prices are coming down. And now with the COVID-19 situation, and of course many employers trying to cut their overheads in terms of trimming on excess fat, as they call it in the corporate speak, is just to ensure that you're asking yourself the question, do we still really need this particular space that we are paying for rent? And rent, of course, in Nairobi, for example, is not quite cheap. So many are beginning to have that reconsideration in terms of the longevity of this and how they can go sustainably in terms of driving their business. And many are asking themselves those questions. So I know a number of employers that we have spoken to are already rethinking the whole issue of an office space, at least in the medium term, and asking those critical questions you're raising. So yes, indeed, the real estate is taking a further hit, of course, being amplified from the situation that was already there earlier on.
Now, even before COVID, there are those who had taken the route of sharing office spaces to cut down on, rent and other overheads, as you mentioned. Do you think this is going to be the new reality going forward?
I think it's a bit of a dicey situation here because, of course, we have the shared economy that was gaining traction pre-COVID, and the emphasis there is pre-COVID because right now in the COVID situation, the whole idea of sharing has now been dismantled entirely as we knew it. If you look at companies such as Airbnb, of course, they have been sent back to the drawing board in terms of their business models. So the whole idea of sharing has been challenged, and with due regard to the safeguard measures which have been prescribed by the Ministry of Health and other health practitioners regarding the prevention of COVID-19. So that is a big challenge to begin with. Many are opting for remote access of office facilities, that is now using platforms such as Zoom and Skype, etc. But of course now the monitoring of it and the risks which come with it in terms of cybersecurity has of course informed a lot of public discussion around how we safeguard, especially on the issue of data protection regarding very sensitive data, whether it's banking and insurance or it goes on to health. So that aspect of sharing is treading on thin ice, if I could say, at this particular point, because of the way in which COVID-19 is spread in shared spaces.
Okay, working from home clearly has made it very clear. Some companies don't need the office space, as you had alluded to, and maybe now leasing or boardrooms only to have meetings when it's critical will be the new reality. Do you think so?
Absolutely, it's on the table, and that was actually gaining traction even before COVID-19. A number of outfits were coming up in Nairobi in particular, whereby you just go and effectively rent a boardroom for whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours. But of course, right now with the COVID-19 situation, a lot of this has gone virtual, and many people are having their meetings, whether it's webinars or simply you're having a catch-up with a few colleagues, and you just decide, let's go on to a platform, whether it is the Cisco WebEx or Zoom or whatever it is that you opt for. But the whole idea right now is that leasing office space, many are having a challenge with that. Many who had ventured into that space are now beginning to navigate choppy waters with that, because the concept of now locomoting from one place to another and the convenience that many have realized that the virtual platforms afford them, only that this tends to be largely urban-centric. If you look at the rural areas where, of course, there's still a bit of challenges in terms of connectivity for many, and those who might not have smartphones, of course, that becomes a bit of an issue. But by and large, yes, that is something which we saw gaining traction in the market, but has had a bit of a slowdown based on the reports that we are reading from some of the key players within the real estate sector.
Now, you are a businessman. Before I let you go, definitely this season has given life to other industries, especially technology. We're talking about the telecoms, even as Mogo Kibati was alluding to the same. How does the future look like in as far as where you should invest?
Well, that's a quite broad-range question. There are opportunities and there are risks which are being presented in light of the present situation. Of course, there are businesses which are now optimizing on their performance because there's heavy demand for data, there's heavy demand for shared platforms that will enable people to have virtual meetings. In terms of hedging your risk, really, it's about right now, first of all, people are ensuring that, of course, their cost centers are really trimmed in terms of we are focusing on priority spending at this particular point for many companies. That's what I hear them talking about in this particular space. But majority are looking in the medium to long term, how will we just take our business online and ensure that at least whether it's e-deliveries or with some other form of e-commerce that is of course being adopted by the many companies which were still relying on the brick and mortar. Gladly, of course, in the financial services space, this had already gained traction even way before COVID-19. So many are looking as to how to hedge. Of course, 2020 has been a challenge and will continue to be a challenge for many, whether they are listed or not. But by and large, many are looking at how to leverage and pivot now their online platforms just to keep their businesses going and to continue reaching their customers.
Thank you, Julian Samboko, NTV Business News editor, for that informative piece. And now we cross over to Tom Shivo, HR Director at HF Group. Julian has talked about doing business or changing the way we do business. Is this something that most companies are rethinking at this point?
Indeed, that's the reality of today. Just by looking at what he's talked to, the spaces that you have to be reconfigured. Remember, the social distance requirements. So while you needed X square meters, you'd still need to use the same with the same or less cost. And therefore, you'd need to look at probably the way you'd stagger your shifts and the way you'd have virtualized offices. And then at the same time also, you need to bring in new infrastructure around the requirements around, for example, the visitor's journey, the sanitization requirement, and the new requirements of today's world of how you reorganize your office. But at the same time also, remember this is also driven by technology. To what extent is your infrastructure virtualized to have the right broadband and the right support structure around it? So to be honest, from ergonomics to technology, everything has to change.
Gideon Kimanzi, who is a music producer, now joins us. Now, for Gideon, when everyone is saying adapting to the new normal of working from home, this has been his normal since he started his career. Gideon, how have you ensured to be such a success for over 20 years now, working from home?
I think it's a very... Oh, thank you for having me. Working from home is really a thing of the mind. Once you see the end of work, which is to produce a service or a good, the location does not really matter. So once we see it as just working, the from home is not a big thing. Once we see it as working, we are able to produce results as required, and that way we are able to be successful in what we are doing, because we don't think of it as working from home, it's just working.
Okay, now your trade requires that artists or clients come to your home. With the measures put around COVID-19, how does that change your trade now?
Now, since the coming of COVID, that has changed significantly, because where I am, we are not allowed outsiders. So I've had to go out and meet my customers and have, say, a briefing with them. That way, once I've understood what needs to be done, I either do it with them at their convenience where they are, or I take a sample of what they need to do, bring it back home, work on it, then take it back or send it to them via the internet.
Okay, now Gideon, there's something that seems to be blocking your screen. If you can just move it so that we can see you clearly. But even as you're talking about the things that you've just did, people coming in, social distancing, sanitizing, you have a baby, an infant in the house. How do you adjust?
As I said earlier, we've been on lockdown on our court, so no outsiders are allowed to come in. So if there's any work to be done, I'm the one to go out and meet them.
Going forward, post-COVID, how will that look like, seeing that working from home has been your reality?
It will continue to be my reality, because with time, the stringent measures shall be eased out, and life will somewhat return to a normal. It might not be the normal we're used to, but there'll be freer interaction with people, and things should get back to where we are able to interact as we are used to. So the business model, I don't think will change much. It's just here in the interim where sanitization and social distancing is a thing that the business has taken a hit.
Okay, when it comes to the discipline of the same, we've seen people complaining they can't stop eating, they can't keep their distractions away. What are some of the tidbits you can share with us that can help us carry us through the working from home?
I believe in compartmentalization, whereby you allocate a desk or a room where you know that this is, like, call it sacred space, where once I sit on this desk or I enter this room, I have virtually left the house and entered the office. And there is that demarcation of house and office. And it takes some practice to get used to it, but with time, because humans are creatures of character, we get to just make it work, because you leave the house, enter the office, the same way you travel to your office, only that there's no travel time much. It's just a few steps and you're into your office. Once within the office, you treat it like you would a regular office.
Calls for a lot of self-discipline, yeah?
Yes, it does.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us. Gideon Kimanzi, he is a music producer, has been running his business from home. So the new normal has been his reality. Thank you for your time. Ndenya, what does this working from home mean to personal branding and etiquette going forward?
I think it's going to take a lot of discipline for people to learn that this is the new normal. And people keep saying that there's a post-COVID. I think this is going to take longer than most people think. It's important also to realize that it takes you 21 days to form a habit. So every time the president says we have another 21 days, if you are not disciplined enough, it's a good time to say the next 21 days, I'll form a habit of creating a space and an environment that I can work in, creating doing what is necessary, the backdrop, removing the distractions, creating the ambience and the light so that you can work well. I think it's important to also say that we must be very positive. Having an attitude of gratitude in this season is very useful, that you're grateful for life and for the little small things. Being at home with your family, being able to work from home is a luxury that you don't have to drive. If I had to come this morning, it would have meant I leave a little earlier to drive through traffic to get there. Now I'm doing it from the comfort of my home. And when we are done, I'm done. So I think there are some joys and some things to be grateful for. I also think that it's very important for us to consider that the world is watching, that this digital space, it's easy for me to take a screenshot and use this multiple times. So every time you decide that you're going to show up on the digital platform, you must look the part. We say that if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, it's easy to do good. And if you do good, there's nothing you can't change. And then I would also say that this is a time for innovation. I think that we must stop thinking the way we were thinking in order for us to embrace the unprecedented times. It's important to think different. And so go online, see what the rest of the world is doing, see what other opportunities are there, so that when you're creating your space, your environment, when you're coming up with your new business ideas, that then you're thinking about services that you can offer the rest of the world. We're having Zoom calls with people from 100 different countries. So it has opened up the world to what we knew it from before.
Okay, and before I let you go, the life with that handshake that sealed the deal and gave impact when you had that interview is gone. What replaces it virtually?
Well, right now it's our emotions. Thank God that virtually we don't have to wear masks, so we still can read body language. We still can express ourselves in other ways. So the warmth that we bring. Part of the reason Nancy was saying that it's important to have your video on, because we live in a sight and sound generation. We want to see you. Once we see your eyes light up with joy, that you're happy to be part of a meeting, we see you alive and part of the space, then it gives us that extra. So now we're going to use more of our other body language to be able to carry on this space. Body language, our eye contact, the smile will be a big part of this.
Thank you, Ndenya. And Nancy Kabiru, definitely with a lot of changes, a lot of adjusting, it is imperative, even as we are within the Mental Health Awareness Month, which is this May, to cater for mental wellness, right?
It is important, and when you realize that you don't have a balance, it's also important to look for a partner who you can walk through this journey together. I talk about mental well-being as taking care of your grooming. Just because we cannot see what's going on in your mind doesn't mean it's not important. When you feel there's a challenge, you're not able to put up that smile, look for a partner to walk with. I work with Hisia psychology consultants, and we are offering e-therapy available at your call anytime. You can chat us up on our website. So feel free to reach us out, because that is what we are passionate about, and we are always willing to support you. to work with you so that you can be your best.
Thank you. And of course, as we are talking about working from home, virtual reality being a new normal to many people, you are assured to have hitches and at some point where things go terribly wrong. Let's look at some of those situations.
Oh my god, did he fall? And it's really challenging, I know, with children home from school and working from home. But just trying to just keep all of those distractions out of the
The whole page comes out.
No, don't touch the computer. I'm talking the whole metal part of the screen.
the monitor itself.
Don't use the mouse.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. It says mute, stop video.
No, I don't want you to do anything on the computer.
Share screen.
I don't want you to do anything on the computer.
In reality, I've heard that social work kind of has very high standards and like good standards of other professions don't have.
Hold on.
What's up?
Tony, I can see you.
We can all see you.
Wow, this has become a new reality. Be warned. And this father will be counted as one of the fathers of the year during this COVID pandemic. And it's amazing what he did with his daughter. Every single time he takes the trash out, he and his daughter dress up in different costumes just to take the trash out for fun. And this makes staying at home not so boring and stiff. Take a look.
Sin poder ver cómo las cosas son. Del viento. Dice la canción. Sin poder ver cómo las cosas son. Del viento. Dice la canción.
Even as we all try to adjust to confinements, and of course quarantine, such a sweet gesture from that father. Well, remember, we have been talking about working from home, and we had so many come in to give their own personal stories and of course give us an idea of how companies and those in business are adjusting to the new normal of working at home. Tom Shivo, the HR director at HF Group, Ndenya Masharia, image and etiquette consultant, Nancy Kabiru, who is a psychologist and life coach. Earlier on, we had been joined by Wanjiko Kanyotu, who is a stay-at-home mom, Taipeni Kimaru, who had to close his business and now works at home and had to find a new hustle to ride the tide, and Gideon Kimanzi, who is a music producer who has been working from home all his life. So this new normal has been his reality. Thank you for joining us. And of course, earlier on, we had Dr. Dawn Othoro, who is the founder and CEO of Valentine's Health, and Mugo Kibati, who is the CEO of Telkom Kenya, even as they gave us insights on telemedicine. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. And before I bid you goodbye, there is feedback coming through. Remember the question of the day: how is working from home looking like for you? James Mwadego says this is definitely the way to go, having a good time. We have Shiro Katua, who says, Valenti's, congratulations, your team is top of the crop. Telkom is blessed to have you. Wow, well in dial. Daktari has been a huge help to me and many others. Thank you for that thumbs up. Emily Obara, who says, we are not working, we're just staying at home for reasons we don't even understand. Interesting, considering we've been at it for a couple of months now. And we have Peter Ikua, who says telemedicine is the future and it's very productive to refined experts. I was x-rayed in a small clinic and they told me the films will be analyzed by the consultants through the computers. How much can such a consultant earn and how many patients can he attend to? Well, as Dr. Dawn said, this is the new norm and it is possible to be able to cater for all, and especially those that would like to get this service from the comfort of their home. Thank you for keeping us company. My name is Gladys Gachanja, coming from the comfort of my living room, and to the whole crew that made this possible and actually rubber stamped that it is possible for us to work at home being frontline workers in the media industry. I say thank you. Until tomorrow, where you will be joined by Joseph Warungu, even as we look at the effects of COVID-19 on addiction. Take care.